I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight the stars and cars of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup are going to get ready to take on Lucas Oil Raceway Park, Indianapolis, Brownsburg, Indiana, the home of so much in the racing world, whether it be NHRA drag racing, short track racing here on the oval, and not far outside of Speedway, Indiana, where the world's greatest race course lies. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here this evening. As practice is done, it's time to go qualifying, and I am joined in the booth tonight by Patrick Byrne. And Bizzle, this is one of the long races for these guys this season. 100 laps, that's a lot of time to have to manage one set of tires on these Silver Crown cars, plus you know you're going to get light on fuel, and these things are going to be twitchy.
Yeah, and this is one of the big show for these cars. These guys love coming here. It's a multi-groove racetrack. You see a lot of cars running up high, but in practice, I was listening to some of the drivers, and they were talking about running some funky lines, diamonding the corners a little bit, so we must have got a new update on the platform that really allows you to race these cars all around this circuit. Should be a great race tonight.
Yeah, I was interested to hear that as well, and to kind of see how that develops. I mean, we've seen Jeffrey Stanton go absolutely ballistic down on the low side of some of these corners. It's going to be fun to watch him. Let's take a look and see. We've got to find Derek Love here. And, well, make sure all the paint schemes are updated here too, because it doesn't look like they've updated yet for us. But qualifying laps are starting to roll in, and let's show you.
Watson getting a little bit hairy there, and even though the paint schemes aren't working quite right just yet, I can still tell it's James Watson because only he would run that tricolor.
That is exactly right. Ian Lane goes new fastest lap of the race, 20.888 seconds. He's quick. Let's see who else is out there. Wes Shire making his way off at turns 3 and 4. These guys are turning in laps quickly here, too. Shire's going to put himself up to position number 8. Only 87 thousandths of a second back off the pole time. This field is tight, Bizzle. Top 10, all within a tenth and a half, and it's only 3/4 of a second back to 17th.
Yeah, since this race split, it is the top 17, 18 drivers in the world of Silver Crown racing on the service. And all of these guys are so talented. They're usually a lot better than me. So I think it's going to be a crazy night. I'm saying there's probably about 7 or 8 cars in this field that I know for sure have a chance at winning this race.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a handful of them. Let's see who else we can pick up here.
No quick time by Thomas Lewandowski.
Yeah, Thomas Lewandowski, the top of the charts, 20.871. He goes quick time. Ian Lane falls to second, only 17 thousandths of a second back. Lewandowski, that lap was an absolute heater. Let's pick up Josh Batista and go on board here with Josh as he's off of turn number 4, and he will be one of the final cars to qualify. Oh, hold on to it. What a save. Oh, my goodness. That's letting it eat. Oh, and he goes quick time. 20.840, 31 thousandths up on Lewandowski. Oh, that speaks handfuls about how this race could possibly go tonight. If you can be that out of control and set quick time, yes, please, more of it.
I was going to say, imagine how much faster that lap would have been if he wasn't slideways the whole way through it.
Oh, this could be a fun one here tonight. Down to 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in qualifications. Ben Carswell, the only car that has not yet taken time. And we'll see if Ben's going to be able to get out onto the racetrack in his Team Watson Racing setups entry. Some interesting names here that we're not used to seeing a ton of either. Mitch Drevnovsky, he's coming back into the series. Good to see him. Corey Ensing, that's not a name that we see a ton. Rhett Tucker, another name. Jimmy Freer, Joshua O'Connor. Couple of names towards the back of the pack. First time we've seen DL Lemon in the race in a while. Mike Barry, we've seen a little bit of. Chad Douglas, another of those new names. This could get a little bit crazy here because if you don't necessarily know who you're racing around, it can make you a little bit hesitant. And IRP is not a place that you can hesitate.
I don't think so. If these drivers are qualified enough to make it up into this split, which I'm sure the strength of field in this race is well over 3,000. If they're qualified enough to get up in here, they're a competent enough driver, and I don't think there'll be any worry about racing around anyone.
Well, let's see. Qualifications are now over. It is time to get ready to go racing here at Lucas Oil Raceway at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Waiting for the first couple of cars to get out here onto the grid, and then we can, well, quite frankly, show you where everybody's lined up. There it is. Let's pick up our race grid here tonight. Starting on the pole for tonight's Silver Crown Cup race will be the number 10 STP Band Sports entry of Josh Batista. Thomas Lewandowski going to line up second on the grid here tonight. As we mentioned, only 31 thousandths of a second back here in qualifications. And those numbers don't go up by much. The Gorilla Tape number 8 of Ian Lane. I'll try to be nice to him tonight, but he's wearing an Ohio State Buckeyes helmet. I'm not sure that contractually I'm allowed to do that. Derek Love in the Street Side Customs number 1. 72 thousandths of a second back. My goodness, is this field tight. Row number 3. Okay. The Drevnovsky Construction Budweiser number 3 of Mitch Drevnovsky. Lining up alongside the Dog Bear number 7 of Wayne Hutchison. Row number 4 going to have James Watson in the Team Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network. Well, it's the number 6 in timing and scoring, but it's the number 39 on the car. He runs a custom number paint scheme, so that's why you're going to see the difference in that one. Lining up alongside the Napa Auto Parts Rockwell Big Evil Designs number 5 of Jeffrey Stanton. First 2 cars more than a tenth of a second back, and they're going to be on row number 4. Tracy Petter, who should be very quick here tonight, in the Hawk Racing at number 2, lining up alongside the Homestead Coffee number 13 of Wes Shire. Great lap there for Wes. Row number 6 will have the number 8 of Corey Ensing alongside the Malware Bites number 12 of Rhett Tucker. Row number 7, scheduled to be the 11 of Brian Elmore and the 19 7-Up Hoosier Tire entry of Mike Barry. There we go. Barry's out there on the grid. Thought I saw him disappearing for a split second, but Mike Barry is able to get out onto the grid. He will start in his assigned position. DL Lemon in the number 20 will roll off in the 15th position in the Bitcoin entry alongside the Hot Wheels Mobile 1 number 16 of Chad Douglas on row number 8. Row 9 will have Laura Gerhardt in the Kibu number 14 alongside the Guinness number 15 of Jeremy Freer. Joshua O'Connor alongside Ben Carswell on the 10th and final row here this evening. Carswell not setting a lap time in the Team Watson Racing Setups number 17. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4, and as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. off at turn number 4. 1 lap very quickly in the books, and it will belong to Josh Batista. Lewandowski holding on for second. Good side-by-side battle here between Derek Love and Ian Lane. One car up into the wall. That's going to be Mike Barry. Bottles up the field a little bit towards the back of the pack, and we have caution. Yellow flag is out early here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis. Let's see if we can see what happened here towards the back of the pack. I think we got our issue. And unfortunately for Ben Carswell, this may be a situation where, well, he kind of caught himself out in the deal. Let's slide on over here. Pick up the instant replay. Keep your eye on that 15 of Freer up on the outside. He bounces it off the safer barrier. Oh, little bit of contact. There it is. Up and over. Adios, amigo. Out of the ballpark down the back straightaway.
That reminds me of my first ever time at this speedway. I came down here. I got to the race a little bit late. My buddy had extra tickets. So I came on down. I walk into the stands, and the first thing I see is my first ever look at a Silver Crown car flipping down the front straightaway, and I just went, holy crap, these are my new favorite race cars. It was the coolest thing ever.
I absolutely love the show the Silver Crowns put on at IRP. I grew up on the original Tuesday Night Thunder, Thursday Night Thunder, and then really not liking the move to Saturday Night Thunder because there was other stuff going on in the world and the parents didn't let you have the TV growing up. But those Tuesday and Thursday night shows, I love the sprint cars. They were just incredibly fast around this place. The midgets were terrifying. The Silver Crowns were just incredible around this place. And it's true here on the iRacing platform. These guys just put on a fantastic show every time out here.
Yeah, it's like this track was built for these cars. Even though these are the Super Speedway Silver Crown cars, they're still fantastic around here. This track just slightly larger than half a mile, so it's on the bigger side of the short track swing of things, and it's about the smallest track these cars are fantastic at. So it just puts on a good show. It's very, very close, almost a little bit touchy kind of a race where drivers are bumping into each other a little bit, not something you usually see on the speedways.
Take a look at this one here. The contact again, a little bit too heavy on the gas. Swing around and up and out of the ballpark went Joshua O'Connor here as we had another look at the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Josh Batista going to be leading the field, and we will go back to green flag racing this time by. We'll see where the battles really happen here, because Batista has been very, very good on the initial starts and restarts. Green flag goes back in the air. It is once again a great jump for Batista. In fact, the top four all getting away. Ian Lane having to deal with Mitch Drevnovsky. This is the battle for 4th and 5th. I would imagine these guys at the front, Patrick, they want to get some laps logged here. This is 100 laps is a long time, and the more you heat cycle these tires, the uglier this could potentially get.
Yeah, you really just want to settle in, especially early in this long race. You want to settle in, get single file, and just log laps, kind of build that rhythm. Maybe claw time to the guy in front of you, or if you're all the way up in front like Josh Batista is, try and get away from this field a little bit.
Yeah, just get me out of here. That's the big one. Taking a look at the weather conditions, partly cloudy skies, 85-degree track temperature, but the track temp at 113 degrees as it stands right now. Wind's going to be out of the west at 17 miles an hour. That's a lot for these guys to have to contend with in terms of track temp, especially if you're going to worry about making these tires last. I don't know that Thomas Lewandowski's going to worry about that in the moment, though. Off of turn 4, lap number 10, we've got a new race leader at the line. Man, I don't know that he's going to be able to hold that off at turn number 2, though. Great battle here at the front of the field.
Oh man, almost 3 wide there.
Oh, they are 3 wide off in turn 2. Derek Love up the middle. Batista on the outside. Excuse me, that's, oh wait, hold on. That's Mitch Drevnovsky all the way on the inside. That's going to screw me up. Both of those guys running the number 1.
We need to send out a PSA. If these guys want to run custom number schemes, they got to put a letter on there.
That's a great idea. Taking a look to see what else we have for battles here that we could pull up and show you. And actually, we got a good one developing towards the, well, kind of the mid-pack part of the racetrack. Rhett Tucker and Corey Ensing battling for the 10th position. This is really what these guys were hoping to see here at the front, Patrick. Get a bunch of laps in the books here and start to settle in, because the reality is, if you're anywhere inside the top 5 with 25 to go, you probably have a shot.
Yeah, especially with how rowdy this track can get. The likelihood we get a couple of late race cautions is fairly high, and frankly, I don't want to put it out there, but I'm going to anyway. The leader probably is going to get taken out on one of those late race restarts. It's not going to be a dirty move, it's just going to be rough racing, so definitely, I want to be the guy sitting maybe there, 3rd, 4th position when that final caution comes out.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this race has the potential for some ugliness late in this show, because, I mean, look, you can see it here. Jeffrey Stanton, high, wide, and handsome through 3 and 4. Mitch Drevnovsky running about a half a lane off the bottom. And we've seen Jeffrey Stanton run the apron here. It is the craziest line when he decides to pull that trick out of his sleeve. Oh my goodness, it is slide job city heading into the corners.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the Silver Crown car so good here, is it almost feels like a dirt track. How wide these corners are, how deep you can go into them and kind of slide up right in front of the wall there. We were toying around with the Gen 4 cars the other day here, and it was the same thing. You could pretty much slide job someone, which is not something that's very common on an asphalt track.
Caution is out for the 2nd time here tonight, and it could be trouble for Ian Lane. Oh, yes, it is. Let's take a look here and see what happened. We'll find it on the replay first. All right, let's back it up here and take a look. Swing you over to the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Keep your eye on that number 8 machine down at the bottom. Josh Batista up high. James Watson on the inside. Oh! Maybe a little left side loving there from Batista. Lane hard into the inside concrete retaining wall. I almost feel like I want to look at that one again. I almost wonder if that didn't start a little bit earlier. Well, let's see. We're going to pick it up down the backstretch, and it doesn't look like that's where the issue may have been. Here they are into turn number 3. Lane slides up the track just a little bit. Batista, Batista clipped the outside wall. That's what it was. Batista kissed it with the right rear. Popped him down into Ian Lane, and unfortunately Lane has to take the tow. So at the front of the field, as we are already almost a quarter of the way through this race, is going to be Thomas Lewandowski leading Derek Love, Jeffrey Stanton, Mitch Drevnovsky, and Josh Batista. James Watson, Tracy Petter, Wayne Hutchison, Corey Ensing, and Wes Shire complete the top 10. Now, as we get deeper into this race, do you consider a stop to add fuel? I mean, maybe not with 18 cars still on the lead lap, but I would have to think maybe you can help the handling of the cars a little bit if we get some cars a lap down, and maybe you give yourself a shot.
I was gonna say, unless we get a lot of cars a lap down to where you're gonna be starting in front of them, I don't see that it's worth it. You do have a weight jacker in this car, so you're able to kind of adjust how the car is, adjust for that fuel being drained out of the tank. I would only say it's worth it if you're already towards the back of the lead lap anyway. It's a late race caution, you just want to get a little bit of handling back in the car if you're struggling. But other than that, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, that's
especially with how long it's to fill the cars in these things.
Yeah, if you're Ben Carswell, Chad Douglas back in 15th, 16th position, you're only going to give up a spot or two. In fact, we've seen Laura Gerhardt do that. 13.7 stop for Gerhardt, 18.4 seconds for Jeremy Freer. Get a little bit of fuel in now while you're late, while it's still early enough in the race that you can make some of these spots up. Maybe not the worst idea, but I think late in the race, like you said, unless we get a bunch of cars a lap down, I just don't. That doesn't sound like it could be the way to get to the front here.
Yeah, like a guy like Thomas Lewandowski, Derek Love, Jeffrey Stanton, they're not going to pit anyway. Those are three very, very talented drivers with ill-handling race cars, so they're not going to stop.
Just one more reason to head to Indianapolis Memorial Day weekend. The Hoosier 100, postponed due to weather, has been rescheduled as part of the Carb Night Classic on May 26th. Yes. Oh, that is going.
Jealous. I was going to go this year. I said 2023 is my year. I was there in 21. I'm going back in 23. My buddy sends out a wedding invitation I get in the mail. He's getting married Memorial Day weekend.
That's a high holy day.
Yeah, I might have to tell him. Sorry, I gotta go see some race cars.
Oh, one car up against the outside wall. That's going to be DL Lemon bouncing. Oh, Mike Barry, big hit into the outside wall. That is sure to bring out a caution. Mike Barry with a huge hit, and we are somehow still green. That was Wayne Hutchison that bounced off the wall. Derek Love goes fastest lap of the race. He is going to be all over your race leader. These guys towards the back of the pack, my goodness, they hit everything hard and didn't bring out a caution.
They hit everything with the pace car and maybe those grain silos down the backstretch.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that was wild. Let's bring you up the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Keep your eyes down there on the box in the lower right-hand corner. We'll hit the play button. Barry bounces off the wall, hits Wayne Hutchison. Hutchison slides back across the racetrack, almost into Chad Douglas. Here comes the 20 of D11, 3 damaged Silver Crown cars battling down the front stretch. Battle for second heating up as well. Jeffrey Stanton, Derek Love, they're going to continue to run side by side. Another battle to bring up on the side by side. This is going to be James Watson and Tracy Petter. They're fighting for the 6th position. Oh, one car sounded like big into the front stretch safer barrier. And
yeah,
again,
it's hard to capture on a screen watching on TV or in the simulator. These impacts on the walls, especially at this track, and I've noticed at DeSoto Speedway as well. You can really feel it in the stands when something hits the wall. It is a terrifying hit. It's not really a sensation I can even put into words. It's a very strange feeling when a car hits the wall.
Yeah, there's been a few that I have experienced, I don't want to say really up close and personal, but close enough that you go, whoa. Like, I mean, some of these things, this sounds like a bomb going off when they hit. The Indy cars makes such a wild sound when they wreck. And I was out in the area of turn 2 for the incident with Takuma Sato the year after Robbie Wickens crashed. And oh my goodness, that was absolute insanity listening to those cars wreck.
Yeah, I want to say NASCAR is the most gentle cars when they hit the wall. They don't make nearly as much of a thud as these Silver Crowns do, or as a Ford Ranger down at the Freedom Factory. Yeah, even the Indy cars, they make one hell of a noise when they crash.
Well, until they hit really big. I was down near turn 1 for Jimmy Johnson's wreck when he straight lined the infield into turn 1. That sounded absolutely horrifying when he hit. But he hit the outside wall at turn 1 almost straight on at 190 plus miles an hour. He had a stuck throttle and no brakes. That was an ugly, ugly hit for Jimmy. Taking a look here, the top 7 have broken away. It's 1.7 seconds from leader Thomas Lewandowski back to 7th place James Watson. Wes Shire's going to be another second and change back. So sort of like we have 2 packs that are developing here. Shire running sort of by himself a little bit. Rhett Tucker's about a second back of Shire. And then you have Brian Elmore, Corey Ensing. Those 3 cars are running together. But there is a lot of damage machinery towards the back of this pack. See if we can, let's go on board here with James Watson. See if we can get a feel for what James is feeling behind the wheel.
And this is the most non-Watson-like driving I have ever seen. Watson is usually fairly aggressive on the wheel, kind of binary on his throttle and brake inputs. He's usually driving this car very smoothly tonight. Definitely put in a ton of practice and a lot of setup work to get that car driving as smooth as it is.
Yeah, and I think some of that might just be trying to save a little bit as well. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Let's pick up.
It's almost like Watson has one of those like Senna cross switches in his head where he can go to one driving style and then immediately go to the next and kind of flip back and forth.
Top 4 all running nose to tail as we're now on board with Derek Love, who runs in the 2nd position. Same thing, sounds very smooth on the throttle, not seeing, his hands look very calm. That's a big one in these Silver Crown cars, because the more your hands are moving and you're kind of battling the car, the more you're scrubbing tire off.
Yeah, and these cars are really interesting where, like the sprint car, you really don't want to touch any of the inputs. You need to be very smooth. But this car seems to be, the more aggressive you are with it, the faster it goes. But with these long races and only having one set of tires, whatever they give you when you hit the grid, you really need to save and take your time.
Battle for 3rd, starting to pick up a little bit. Mitch Drevnovsky down on the inside, Jeffrey Stanton on the high side. Maybe a little bit of damage.
Setting the fastest lap of the race 2 laps ago. Really trying to make this a 5-car battle for the lead.
Yeah, you saw it there. Little bit of damage on the right front of Jeffrey Stanton's car. Not going to make a huge difference here. In fact, a little bit of damage on Mitch Drevnovsky's front end as well. Just interesting to see who's had contact.
Yeah, and I suspect we're not going to see a lot of very clean race cars by the end of this one. This definitely is a full contact kind of racetrack, and that's why I love saying these things are what Indy cars would have been if they didn't put wings on the cars, because these things, they're very fast, very agile, but you can still beat and bang them a little bit. You got fast bars in the front and rears. Derek Love goes for the lead. Contact!
Little contact, Lewandowski may have kissed that outside safer barrier, the exit of turn number 2. He's going to fight back. They'll drag race to the line. Love able to clear to turn 1. Now Drevnovsky looking inside of Lewandowski. He's going to try the slide job. Not quite there. Jeffrey Stanton now wants a piece. It's a 3-car battle for second. Oh, man, Lewandowski and Stanton almost got into it. There's Stanton down to the apron. He slides way wide up in 2. Slide jab, turn 2, not going to clear. What a fantastic battle here at the front of the field.
No, they're only halfway, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
This isn't NASCAR. There's no stage points, none of that. So you only get points for finishing at the end, and you got to make it there first.
Yeah, actually, funny that you mentioned the points. Derek Love, your points leader, he is leading the race, sitting on 811 official iRacing points. James Watson, who's locked in a battle up on the outside with the 4 of Lewandowski. Watson is second in points with a great run this season, sitting on 684 markers. Watson actually with 2 wins in 6 starts, 5 top 5 finishes, 1 pole. Derek Love doing his work on the strength of these SOF races. 5 starts, 1 win, 5 top 5s, and 1 pole. Oh, Watson scrapes the wall in 2.
I'm not sure if he scraped the wall or jumped the cushion. He was running so high up there, and he kept speed with it, too.
That's one of the things about IRP. You kind of always had to be really high. Up again. Oh, Watson clips the wall. He does it again. Great battle there. How about at the front of the field? Mitch Drevnovsky looking inside of Derek Love for the race lead. Slide chop, 3 and 4, not able to clear. Bring both of these battles up here. Well, maybe not. Things are starting to get a little choppy there on camera, too. My goodness. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from Drevnovsky off the corner. There's still a long way to go here yet, boys. Let's not, totally junk these things up.
Let's do it. I want to see a battle for the lead all the way for the rest of these 43 laps.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm for it. Somebody's going to wad something up, though, especially with lap traffic just up ahead. Looks to be the 18 of Joshua O'Connor. Only 2 cars being scored out of the race at this point. That's Wayne Hutchison in 19th, Ian Lane in 20th. Oh, man, that slider just does not... When it works, it is good. Oh, big wiggle for Drevnovsky. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the 1 scrapes the wall outside. That was Derek Love. Stanton to the race lead.
You know, we asked these guys for a show, and they are absolutely putting it on for us.
I'm just loving the fact that these cars are going to be piles of hot garbage at the end of this thing.
Yeah, these top 4 burning all their equipment off, and there's Thomas Lewandowski sitting back there. He got shuffled back to 5th, 6th position. And he's just been saving his equipment. He got shuffled back there, didn't push hard to get back up in front. Now he's about there.
Yeah, James Watson, up until the last couple of laps where we saw him have some issues. That car looks good. Josh Batista is good, and he started on the pole. Oh, there's another contact. Little left side loving from Jeffrey Stanton on the 2 with Tracy Petter. Oh, my goodness. What a show. Jeffrey Stanton is your leader in positions gained, but maybe not for long. If Tracy Petter comes past, he'll take that mantle. Ben Carswell also up 6. Brian Elmore, Laura Gerhardt, both up 4. Stanton way to the inside on Derek Love. What
Stanton,
a
the
show.
master running the low line around here. Gets a little bit squirrely, but he's going to try it once again. And is he going to lose one more to Tracy Petter?
And they are finally starting to catch some lap traffic here as well. Oh, that was the big protective slider there by Stanton. Forced Petter to get on the brakes. Coming through lap traffic is going to be interesting for these cars. Unless the lap cars are just recognize what's coming and get out of the way, which you should be able to do. The
problem is Derek Love in the field is running up high, and Stanton is running that bottom line and almost contact there hitting the 15 car.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oh, we've got one car bouncing off the wall. Heard the contact, not sure where that was, but top 5 are going absolutely ballistic here at the front of the field. Stanton gives the wall a little kiss, middle of 1 and 2. Oh, Derek Love loosening the wall off of 2. What a battle. Oh, big wreck down the front stretch. Derek Love tumbling wildly.
Inside wall.
He's still flipping.
One more, landing on the wheels. Oh, I have to give that an 8 out of 10. He did not stick the landing.
And then he almost got drilled. We knew that wasn't going to last for long. That could not last the whole race that way. Pick you up, the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay off at turn number 4. Little bit of contact from Petter and end over end. Huge hits for Derek Love. My goodness. That was massive for Derek Love. Let's take a look here and see if we can't go on board. Let's see. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Let's pick up Derek Love here. Go on board. That's not fun when you're racing in virtual reality.
No, and Derek Love is in fact racing in virtual reality. I bought his old Pimax off of him, and he is on the newest version of the Pimax. I believe it's the 8K or the 11K or whatever they're up to. That is like full the whole way around VR. You don't have any lens or anything you're blocking your vision, so that would be a little bit sickening.
A little bit. Let's see. Well, it looks like, unfortunately, we already have lost Derek Love out of the Discord chat here, so we won't be able to talk to him. Let's see who we do have. First, let's make sure we're not going green this time.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Pulling a driver right as we go green and see what their exact thoughts are.
Yeah, no, we've got another lap yet, so let's bring in Jeffrey Stanton and see if we can't get a word with Jeffrey. And unfortunately, Jeffrey, you're there sitting on pit road getting caught up in that incident. Talk us through what happened out there. It seemed like kind of all hell broke loose in front of you and you really didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tracy and Derek got together. I slammed on the brakes and it shot left. Right. Also, when I made contact with Tracy, just trying to stay off everybody, and it just shot left. There's nothing I could have done there.
Tough break for you.
It's just hard racing, honestly. So I'm not sure how else to put it. It kind of looked like Tracy got into Derek a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was close, but that racing was pretty extreme at the front of the field. It just seemed like you guys could not do that for another, 26, 27 laps.
Yeah, it was crazy out there. Everyone was struggling this track time. It threw us a curveball tonight for what we practiced on earlier. It shot up big time heat, so we're all sliding out there, just trying to keep the car under us.
All right, Jeffrey. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And, yeah, you heard the spotter call, green flag, green flag. We're back underway with 28 laps to go, it should be. We'll switch this over. Yeah, 28. It'll be 27 to go this time by the start-finish line. Tracy Petter, Mitch Drevnovsky going to battle into turn number 1. The question really for me, Patrick, becomes, do we see anything out of James Watson and Josh Batista? You're kind of down to that 25 to go window, and if they were saving their stuff, this is when it's the time to use it.
Yeah, it is go time now. Pass these 3 cars in front of you and just zoom out away and take the lead and run away with it.
That's the ideal way of doing things. We'll see if that's actually what's going to happen. Tell you what, if these guys keep racing like this, it's not going to be a 3-car battle for the win. It's going to be about an 8-car battle for the win. Petter and Drevnovsky continue to be side by side the entire way around Lucas Oil Raceway Park, Indianapolis. I'm sorry, they did rename it. Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. It's had several names, all with the Lucas branding attached to it, but pretty cool they went back to the old name and logo for IRP.
Yeah, no, I think that calls back to the heritage of this being one of the first real national events in NHRA. The Oval has always kind of been on the back burner. Everyone comes here for the drag racing. I've been here working on the stock eliminator team for the past 2 years. Down here at the U.S. Nationals, and it's kind of weird seeing it here in the oval format where there's not 10,000 campers all strapped around the ground here with cars all in them. And if you've never been to the U.S. Nationals, even if you're not a drag racing fan, you got to get down there and see it. It is the greatest show in all of racing. Especially if you get a chance to stand on the starting line with Top Fuel. That is incredible.
One of the things that IRP is doing really, really well, they are embracing modern car culture in very unique ways. Last season, they poured an entire skid pad right next to the starting line of the drag strip, expressly to host a Cletus and Cars event run by Cletus McFarland and his YouTube channel. They're going back there again. They're going to run Saturday, Saturday is Cletus and Cars on the drag strip with the burnout contests and top alcohol dragster and a full day show on the drag strip. And Sunday, they head over here to the Oval for the Indy 800 with a bunch of YouTubers and kind of, I'll say, C and D list celebrities running Crown Vics around this place. That's the kind of push towards modern, that's what new car culture is. It's not the kind of hatchbacks that were my generation of cars. It wasn't my parents' generations of Mustangs and Chargers. Car culture is back to being fun, and about fun and a little bit of style.
I was going to say, back when I lived in Ohio, we've got a caution on the racetrack.
Yellow flag is out for the 3rd time this evening. And this one is going to be, I believe, possibly Corey Ensing involved in this one. Let's take a look and see. Keep your eye on that yellow and red number 9 machine. Oh, up and over, and wow, big hit into turn 1, flipping through the catch fence. Oh my goodness. That's, wow, there's the hit into turn one from the replay. Whew. That's another one. These cars do not wreck nicely.
No, it's always violent. But yeah, I was going to say, back when I lived in Ohio, I'm going to shout out my old crew, OPK, Ohio Panther Kings. I had a Grand Marquis. It was 1990, beautiful car. We would get out 80, 90 cars, Crown Vics, maybe a handful of Chevy Caprices would show up. Land yachts are in right now. Everyone loves them. Everyone misses them. And frankly, if any of the big three wanted to come out and make another ginormous land yacht, throw a turbo four-cylinder in it. Whatever you need to do to meet emissions. I guarantee you
exactly
people
right.
will love it.
Yeah, let's see if we can't talk to James Watson here. James, you've run a very good race here to this point. Sitting third with 16 to go, going to be 15, 14 laps to go when we head for the restart. Do you think you have anything for Tracy and Thomas up front?
I don't think so. I think I kind of burned my tires up a little too much. Track temp is starting to creep up, so I'm getting a little tight. So unless they get together, I don't think I'm going to have anything to say on it. I'm just kind of just hoping to hang on to third. You know, it's been a tough race with the high track temp. So if I can end up with the third from starting P7, I'll be thrilled with that as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and quite frankly, that's a big points night for you. With Derek having his issues, you're going to make up a bunch of ground potentially in the overall standings and in the broadcast championship. Maybe third's not the worst spot you could possibly finish tonight.
No, like, this isn't one of my better tracks, and like we got slapped with a ridiculously high track temp, so I knew I was going to be in for a struggle tonight. So if this is a struggle, then hell, I will take it, knock on wood.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much for the interview. Good luck the rest of the way here.
Cheers, thank you.
So there you go. There's James Watson. That's kind of the thought process here, I would guess, Patrick. We're going to turn, it looks like, at least one more lap behind the iRacing safety car. Trying to do the cool down on the tires.
I was just about to say, you can see a couple of those drivers running down there in the apron where no one's been running. Jeffrey Stanton, of course, off the track towards the back of the field, so he hasn't been running there, heating that bottom line up.
Yeah, to keep these tires, get them cooled down as much as you can, and hope for the best. You'll see these guys all pack up back in line as they get off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Single file restarts in the Silver Crown Series. That means you cannot pass on the inside until you cross the start-finish line. Kind of forces everybody to be up on the outside wall, and it really allows the race leader to play some games with the restart. Pace car is in off of turn number 4. Green flag goes in the air. That was a very nice start from Tracy Petter. Kept the field spaced out, gradually came up to speed. Mitch Drevnovsky having to look inside of Josh Batista. I don't think he's going to get that one done off of turn 2. Well, maybe he might. Batista going to fight back to the outside, but Drevnovsky going to be able to clear at the front. It's still Petter, Lewandowski, Watson. Sounds like we got one car bouncing off the wall there on the exit of turn number 4. How about the recovery from Mike Barry? That car was practically upside down at one point in this race. Barry back up to the 8th position. That car is used up. Drevnovsky and Batista going to continue their battle. Quite frankly, that's what James Watson wants to see. Let these guys fight it out. He can just turn calm, consistent laps. Well, at least as calm a laps as you can turn in a Silver Crown car that's done 90 laps around IRP already. So now down to 8 laps to go. Tracy Petter leading Thomas Lewandowski by about a third of a second. It's another 4-5 tenths back to James Watson in position number 3. Mitch Drevnovsky, he's getting close to Watson though. Almost close enough to give him the Teddy Christopher bump, but I don't know that you want to do that here at IRP, especially this late in the race.
You can absolutely bump someone out of the way here. It's just a matter of you have to hit them dead square because it's just one little point on the back of these cars.
Yeah, and you are just as likely here, you're just as likely to turn them as you are to kind of give them that little bit of a wiggle shove. You know, I just meant to rattle his cage a little. Oh, but Watson bounces it off the outside wall, exiting 4. That's going to allow Drevnovsky to get inside. They'll drag race down the back straightaway. Drevnovsky doing a fantastic job holding that inside line. Oh, and he slides right into the gap between Watson and Batista off 4. Oh, they're almost making contact. Watson at the line that time, I think, by not much. Oh, great back
Watson's
off of the corner entry.
Crossover.
Great move by Watson. He's going to get down to the inside of Batista, but he may give up a couple of spots in the process. Down to 3 laps to go. Tracy Petter continues to lead over Thomas Lewandowski by 5 car lengths. And I believe I was corrected that they do have 1 overtime attempt in the Silver Crowns now as well.
Oh, there we go. So we should be telling them to wreck some more race cars and give us another restart.
I don't know that Watson wants to see another restart. That car is looking really used up on the right-hand side now. Josh Batista not able to make any ground. Thomas Lewandowski not able to make any ground on Tracy Petter either. But it's going to be Drevnovsky now holding on to the 3rd position by, call it 5 car lengths that time by. As the white flag is out, 1 lap to go here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Down the back straightaway for the final time into 3 and 4. Tracy Petter looks to have this one in hand. Twin checkers will go in the air off at turn 4, and Tracy Petter gets the win at IRP. Thomas Lewandowski comes home 2nd. Mitch Drevnovsky picks up the final place on the podium here this evening. And Tracy Petter's going, I'm out of here. Get me onto pit lane and get this car stopped as fast as we possibly can. I like it. You go traditional. No burnouts, no silliness. Just do your victory lap, hit your parking spot, and get the heck on out of Dodge.
No, you got to do the burnout.
I'm an old guy. What do you want me to tell you? Let's take a look at our race results here this evening. Tracy Petter picking up the win by a third of a second over Thomas Lewandowski. Mitch Drevnovsky coming home in the 3rd position. James Watson and Josh Batista will round out the top 5. 6 through 10 going to be Wes Shire, Brian Elmore, Laura Gerhart, Mike Barry, and D.L. Lemon. 11 to 15, Rhett Tucker, Chad Douglas, Jeremy Freer, and Ben Carswell finishing on the lead lap. Joshua O'Connor, the first car to finish off the lead lap in the 15th position, 3 laps down. Corey Ensign going out 18 laps down and out of the race. Jeffrey Stanton finishing 17th, Derek Love 18th, Wayne Hutchison 19th, and Ian Lane will round out the field here, going out after only 20 laps. Not a good points night for Derek Love or Ian Lane. James Watson is going to be thrilled with that result. The broadcast standings entering tonight's race had Derek Love with a 33-point lead, but the way the points work in this one, this is a huge drop for Derek Love, finishing in the 18th position. But Let's take a look here and bring in our race winner for the Victory Lane interview, Tracy Petter. Congratulations. Fantastic drive tonight. That was some really kind of crazy stuff we had going on at the front of the field most of the night.
Yeah, that was an insane race. I just hate that I made that mistake and caused Derek and Stanton to wreck.
Sometimes those things happen. How do you put that out of your mind when you know you kind of got away with one and quite frankly, now two of your main competitors are not going to be battling at the end?
Yeah, I made a tiny mistake and it just cost that for him. I feel bad because I race him all the time.
Well, I tell you what, it was a fantastic run for you tonight here, Tracy. Talk us through kind of how the race went for you otherwise, and I mean, it really seemed like it was a good show.
Yeah, it was a great race. I had a blast.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And before we let you go, do any of those big sponsor plugs and thank yous that you got.
I'm going to pull what you told me. Hi, Mom.
Oh, that's beautiful. Give Mom the shout out. Love it. All right, Tracy, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And now we'll bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Thomas Lewandowski. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of the same question we asked Tracy. This race was intense at the front for a large part of the middle hunk of this race. Did that impact the end and just burning the tires off, doing that battling at the midpoint?
For me, not really. It was more of a case of like the weather. We got like a cloudy patch there, and the track temp came down a bunch, and I just got really tight. And that's when Derek, ran me down and stuff. And after that, we kind of got back to sunny, conditions, which, track temp came up and, freed me up, back to where I needed it to be. So it was, yeah, a very intense race. It was pretty nuts.
A big night for you in terms of the point standings as well. Taking a look here quickly at the overalls. Entering the night 7th in points with a lot of drop weeks still in play. In fact, you've only scored 4 of the 5 weeks entering this race. Do you feel like a championship, or, I mean, a top 5 obviously is very much still in play, but even a podium or a championship could be a potential this season?
Yeah, I usually don't run I have a few tracks I just usually don't run good at, like a lot of short tracks actually. I have to put a lot of work in to run this good here. I usually am like way off. So I'm kind of used to having huge swings with my drop weeks and stuff. So usually it's a really close battle between, me, Brandon Buchberger and, Derek. So it'll probably be the same way this, season. So we'll just have to, take it week by week. But we got a lot of tracks coming up that I'm really strong at. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the podium. And before we let you go, do all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
I just got to thank you guys for broadcasting and all my buddies over at the Drill Owl, John Prather, Marcus Lindsay, Larry Pace. So,
all right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And now time for us to bring in our third and final Victory Lane interview of the night. And this one will be Mr. Mitch Drevnovsky. That car is absolutely beat to hell looking at it on the replay here. How in the world did you keep that thing at the front? Because you were high, wide, and handsome, low down and dirty, everywhere in between. That car was – you had a lot of fun tonight, it looks like.
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to shout out all the guys that were up there and in the whole field, because that was a lot of fun the whole time. And in the beginning, I think me and Jeff got together, and I think he just got a little loose coming off, got into my right rear, and from there it was just a little bit too loose, so I was playing with the weight jacket the whole time. And then later on in the run, after that big wreck happened, I was trying to get by Tracy there and made a mistake. Thomas got by, and then I got in too deep and hit him and gave me a little front end damage. But yeah, it was a handful. I was just trying all the lanes I could to make something work.
Well, you obviously accomplished that in a big way. Because, man, you pick up a podium with this kind of field here tonight, it's got to make you feel good. That was a tough field that battled hard for about 50 laps in the middle of the race.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy battle, and I didn't even know what lap we were on. I was just looking forward and trying to keep the wheels on it and keep them turning, and it got crazy there. Me, Tracy, Derek, Jeff, Thomas, I think Josh was up there, and I didn't know if something was going to go wrong at some point or we were going to all keep it together, but that was a hell of a race.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to check in with us here. And before we let you go, do any of the big sponsor plugs and thank yous you want to get in?
I just want to thank all the guys that run the series and keep it running, like Jeff and Derek and Thomas and all them. They've helped me when I got started out, helped me with sets, and everyone that just helps me get here and get these finishes.
All right, buddy.
And you guys for doing the broadcast as well. Thanks.
Well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words from you and appreciate you coming to hang out with us here for a couple of minutes. And, man, I'll tell you what, Patrick, as we go back to the scenic looks around Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis, man, what a show. An hour, it was 100 laps, and it barely took an hour to run, including the victory lane interviews. I don't know that we can ask for much more than that.
Yeah, that was a freaking awesome race. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We had the 3 wide battles, we had the slide jobs, we had the contact, the wrecks, the iconic flip going down the front straightaway. I don't think you could ask for much more in a race.
No, I don't think so. This one was an absolutely fantastic show. We thoroughly enjoyed bringing it to you, and we've got a whole lot more coming up this week. Tomorrow night, the Sim Racers Club is off, so there will not be a broadcast tomorrow night. Thursday, we are back with the U.S. Open Wheel doubleheader and the Camel GTs from VIR on Friday afternoon at 5 p.m. I am excited for that show. VIR is not wide. GTP on GTO violence is all but guaranteed. It is going to be an epic show. You don't want to miss it. But with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. For Patrick Byrne and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.